I'll show you 7 real pitfalls of building your SaaS application with AI. I'm not gonna scare you and I won't tell you that AI doesn't work. No, AI really works. But you need to understand the best practices and be aware of some traps so you can avoid them. A bit about my background. My name is Kamil and I am a highly experienced full-stack web developer. I have more than 12 years of experience. But now, I am an AI native full-stack developer. I combined my extensive experience with real large-scale products and my AI spec-driven approach. And now I've started working with clients to build SaaS applications using AI. I've also built and launched my own SaaS product, and it has real users. And I currently build fixed price SaaS products for my clients and work as an AI native full stack web developer, maintaining a complex project built with Replit. So, based on my broad experience in modern development, I know exactly what the pros and cons of AI are, and I'm gonna share them with you. By the way, the last pitfall is not obvious, but extremely important. So watch this video until the end. And now let's start with the first pitfall. Number 1. Focusing too much on development. Development is just a part of the process of your business. Some of you guys are too fixated on the idea of developing a product fast, as if velocity is the only key. But in reality, you can easily generate thousands of useless web applications in a short period of time, and no one will use them. No one will even find them. Why? Because you are completely missing other critical pieces of the business model, like marketing, for example. There is no way your website will attract tons of visitors without ads. It takes a lot of money to acquire clients through ads, and it takes a decent amount of time to grow your product through SEO, search engine optimization, as well. Maybe you believe your project will go viral. Okay, that's great, but finish at least one project first before moving on to the next. Beyond marketing your application, you'll also need to think about cost dev, pricing and packaging, legal and security compliance, and of course operations and metrics. There are so many moving parts to getting real clients and growing your product. It's really not that simple. Marketing is a highly complicated field with a ton of work involved, starting from defining your target audience all the way down to creating assets for your social ads. So just keep in mind that you will be putting a lot of work. Everything changes constantly, and you might even change your mind later. It's inevitable. For instance, if you pivot and decide to implement a new feature, you'll have to go through the whole cycle all over again. Implement the feature, update your legal docs, and completely adjust your marketing because your message to your target audience now contains outdated information. And it happens again and again. Number 2, generative style. Nowadays, you see so much content that looks exactly the same. It's packed with that classic generative fluff and a bunch of vague, overly cheerful wording. Everyone knows exactly what it is. It's just a low-quality AI slop. If you aren't an expert in your niche, you will end up with AI slop at every single step on your workflow. Now imagine trying to run a SaaS product with that extremely generic generative text in your social posts, your articles, your code, your ads, and even in your legal docs. I hope you see the problem here. Your project can stand out if you do this. But the good news is it's a solvable problem. You can put in the extra effort to polish the text yourself. The downside, you have to work by yourself and it just became a new workload for you. Alternatively, you can delegate it. For example, if you want to write an article about your project for social media, you can feed your raw thoughts to an AI and then pass that generated draft over to a freelancer. Tell them to polish it, make it vivid, and remove that obvious robotic AI feel. And that brings us smoothly to the next pitfall. You still need a human being. At least for the critical parts, especially coding. You absolutely need an expert to verify the code at some point. Because I've spent years working as a full-stack developer without AI, I completely understand exactly what to request from my AI agent, and more importantly, what to verify. It's becoming obvious that nowadays developers are turning into project or product managers who have deep technical skills and prompt engineering expertise. Only experienced devs truly understand how to use AI efficiently. For example, which model to use and with how much effort. Non-technical users often just blindly run the most expensive model at maximum effort every single time, burning all their tokens. And that leads us directly to the next logical pitfall: the cost of those tokens. You might have heard the news that some companies burned a huge number of tokens, and some AI-built products cost a lot to develop. From my perspective, it depends. I built my SaaS project, which has a quite complex front end with canvas-based video generation, using only a $20 Codex Plus subscription and about $2 or even maybe $1.50 worth of DeepSeek API usage. And that's all. But on the other hand, I am now working with one of my clients on Replit and it gets expensive. It requires a lot of tokens, even for small tasks, and the token prices are high. So it depends on the tool you use and the product you are developing. This is definitely a debatable topic, but I have to warn you that there is a risk of burning all your tokens, especially when using US-based AI tools. Number 5. Vendor lock-in. There is another interesting problem: vendor lock-in. AI tools like Replit, Lovable, and other similar builders are really cool. I work with them myself and they offer many benefits, but of course there are some downsides as well. The biggest one for me is that sometimes it's hard to leave their ecosystem. It's easy to start with these tools, but it can become quite expensive to scale and maintain your product. It can also be complicated to move to another solution. I've personally migrated a couple of Lovable and Replit projects to regular code repositories. It's not extremely complex, but again, you usually need a specialist like me. So DM me and I'll help you with that. Maintaining your own code base is often more efficient and cheaper than relying on AI builders. Number 6. Black box effect. As a developer, I verify almost all the code that AI generates for my projects, so I can reduce this black box effect. But if you use AI blindly and trust it 100%, you risk ending up with a non-functional product that only looks like it works. For example, AI often implements filtering and search features only on the front end, expecting users to request entire dataset from the backend. From a web development perspective, this is really strange. It can lead to users downloading large payloads, sometimes several megabytes of data, every time they open the page. It's awful, and I've encountered this issue at least 3 times. There is no reason a user should load several thousand items and then filter and search through all of them only on the front end. It's just nonsense. You need to implement filtering and sorting on the back end as well. So each user requests only one page of items, maybe 20 or 50 items per request per page. Then they click the next page and receive another portion of the filtered results. It's simply a best practice. Unfortunately, AI often makes this kind of unforgivable mistake, as well as many others. So again, you need an experienced specialist at least to make sure everything works as expected and to reduce this black box effect. Even better, a human should verify all the code, write some parts manually, or at least make the important architecture decisions. As developers, we have to find this golden balance. We still have to work manually, but not in the old school way. AI should amplify our abilities, but we cannot trust it 100%. And the last but not least, missing a clear core value. When you start building something with AI, you realize how easy it is to implement new features. And at this point, you may start creating some kind of Frankenstein-style Swiss Army knife. So many extra features in your product can overshadow the one core feature that solves a real problem for real users who are actually ready to pay. Maybe they don't need a Swiss Army knife at all. Maybe they need something like a katana, light, powerful and elegant. Or something like machete, strong, tough and designed for the specific job. Because when people need to cut through the jungle and find their way out, they don't need your tiny Swift army knife with dozens of tools that barely work. So, as always, focus on the real problems your customers have, not on the fantasies in your own mind. So, to sum up, reach out to me on LinkedIn, by email, or through any messenger, and I'll help you solve all these problems. We'll focus on your whole business, not only on development. We'll figure out how to achieve your business goals, whether that means attracting users, testing your hypothesis with an MVP, or improving the experience of your existing customers. We won't just build another website. We will really solve your business problem. 2. We'll avoid that generic AI-generated style. You'll work with a real professional in this field. You won't waste your money on unnecessary tokens. You'll have a real code repository and your own code base, so you won't be tightly locked into one particular tool. And you can even continue without AI at all if you decide to. You won't get a black box. The code will be reviewed, understandable, and aligned with best practices. And of course, we'll focus on your business goals and the core features that provide real value to your users. I am an experienced full-stack web developer with more than 12 years of experience. I've built and launched many different complex enterprise SaaS applications. I work through different platforms, including Upwork, so the platform can provide additional protection for both of us in terms of payments and milestones. You can also check all the reviews from my previous clients there. And of course, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also follow me on LinkedIn. I regularly publish posts and articles on LinkedIn. And don't forget to like this video. Bye bye, see you soon. Thank you for watching.